How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Drew, and in this video I have another book review, and I'm going to be covering the book The College Dropout Scandal by David Kerp. Now, this is a great primer when it comes to student retention and enrollment challenges that institutions are facing and what they're doing to address them. Now, what I liked about this is that it's a very easy read. It doesn't get too deep into the weeds about a lot of institutional jargon or some of the processes involved, but it really focuses on the problems and what leadership did to address those problems. The other good thing about this book is that each chapter focuses on an institution and a different aspect of enrollment challenges and how the institution addressed that. So, for example, if you are familiar with student retention or enrollment, you're familiar with Georgia State University, and that was one of the first chapters that the author focused on, and how they really just kind of turned everything upside down to fix their enrollment problem. So they reevaluated what their advising process looked like. They really looked at data mining and found a lot of bottlenecks that were often overlooked, where students were stopping short of graduation, and how they rearranged that to make it more effective and to increase their enrollment numbers. There was another chapter about University of Central Florida and Valencia College and the significance of a partnership between a 2- and 4-year institution and how those two schools were able to help one another and also serve the surrounding community. In terms of serving the community, there was a chapter about Long Beach State University, which I found personally interesting. I think that was probably one of my favorite chapters, and how they worked with the community as a whole and tried to focus on Long Beach residents and furthering their education. So there was a huge partnership with the city and all of the schools from kindergarten through the university level, and how they could become more streamlined and communicate with one another in order to better impact the local community. And that was pretty cool. And that's something I personally want to look into myself. There were also topics about reimagining, so University of Texas at Austin, and how they looked at what goes on in the classroom in terms of growth mindset, or even reimagining what orientation looks like, and how that can be a great starting point in terms of building community. And there was another chapter about Amherst College and how it worked to diversify its student population, being among the landscape of the predominantly white private liberal arts institutions, and some of the challenges they faced and a lot of the feedback that they got from the students. So you can see this is a very geographically and institutionally diverse book. It covers a wide range of institutions, and it covers many different aspects of enrollment problems. And I thought that was key, and that's why I recommend this as a primer for enrollment or retention related reading, because it talks about everything from student populations to orientation to data mining to partnerships with two-year institutions and those pipelines. And it also really talked about the political battles that leadership faced when they wanted to implement change. And I think that is often overlooked and it's not really talked about. But the author really focused on leadership's vision and what they wanted to see. And again, it goes back to, like I had said earlier, it doesn't go too deep into the weeds of what these processes looked like or what these changes looked like, but rather it focused on the vision and the why these changes needed to be made, and sort of the process through that change and the after effects of that. So I thought it was a really great book. I think if you are new to this topic, definitely read it. And I think if you're looking to implement something at your own institution, this is a good playbook, because then you can see what some of these institutions did to address some of those issues. So if there's one specific challenge that you have in mind, there might be a certain chapter for you, and it's worth diving into to see what they did. And then also doing some side research on the internet, which is something I had done myself with some of the things that were mentioned in this book, just to get more information and see exactly how some of these things were implemented or how they are doing today. The book it's a little over 5 years old, so I would consider this to still be a recent read, which I also found value in. So it's a great start for anyone who's interested in this topic. So if you've read this book, let me know in the comments. I'm always curious to hear your feedback in terms of books like this. And if you have other books that you recommend that are similar to this, don't forget to let me know as well. And as always, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.